Being an amazing product marketing leader doesn't happen by chance. It happens by habit. Product marketing certified leadership has been built on the back of decades worth of experience from some of the world's best known brands with one goal in mind: helping you be the best leader you can be. Crammed with real life case studies, over 12 hours worth of content, templates, exams, and more, this course is everything you need to lead with authority, confidence, influence, and innovation. Every piece of material within the 7 modules and 29 chapters has been vetted, tested, and approved by senior level product marketers from companies like Amazon, Uber, and HubSpot, serving up game-changing insights throughout. By the time you've wrapped up the final module, you'll be able to define what it takes to be a great product marketing leader, build and scale your team, understand how to successfully manage your existing team, use methods for leveraging data, know how to become the voice of the customer, understand how teams work cross-functionally, and improve your strategic thinking. The beauty of the course is you'll have the freedom to work your way through the modules at a pace to suit you. It's 100% self-paced. You'll even get lifetime access to the curriculum, paving the way for refresher sessions forevermore. Visit productmarketingalliance.com to get leadership certified and spearhead your journey to the top.
Hello, and welcome to Product Marketing in the New Normal. I'm Irit Schwartz, and I'm a Product Marketing Manager at Facebook. And I'd like to talk to you today about the way we could adjust and change as product marketers in this new world of working and living. I see product marketing as uniquely positioned to help companies work better together and grow while adjusting to these changes. And I'll share a bit about what has been working for me in my role at Facebook. Now, I'm sure that you're so over the term new normal. It's right up there with "you're on mute" and other famous 2020 quotes, so duly noted. But today I want to do a few things. I want to have a walk down memory lane. I want to discuss the PMM professional cocktail, talk about the 5 levels of remote working, talk about how we can adapt as PMMs, and some best practices for my role at Facebook. So first, let's walk down memory lane. Do you remember the working world as it was in late 2019? Conferences, meetings, travel, coffee chats, and now the dreaded handshake. Now, fast forward to 2021, and you're probably sitting in your pajamas, watching me and my living room window as I talk to a screen sitting in between my kids' toys and the laundry. Nothing about this world is normal. David Kessler, who is a grief expert, told the Harvard Business Review that the loss of normalcy, the fear of economic toll, the loss of connection, this is hitting us and we're grieving collectively. Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, wait, did I accidentally join a psychology course? Well, no. And yes, I see a product marketer as being a mixture of a psychologist, a journalist, a teacher, a relay runner, and a fine dancer. I'm just kidding about that last one. But because we are at the intersection of product, marketing, and sales, we are the knowledge base for others. We have the context and the know-how from all of these worlds. We're able to understand and analyze needs, and also have the ability to make decisions and drive actions that would address these needs. This is why I think product marketers are at a good place to adapt and progress under these new circumstances. So let's talk a bit about product marketing at Facebook so you have more context into what I do on a daily basis. As an organization, we cover a wide range of responsibilities from opportunity sizing, customer segmentation, competitive analysis, growth planning, sales enablement, go-to-market plans, all that good stuff. And my team specifically focuses on the growth aspect in product marketing, meaning that I help businesses and partners grow through our solutions and products. In my day-to-day work, I work with clients, with sales leaderships and sales teams to ensure that they are equipped with the knowledge that they need to maximize the value that they see from our solutions. Now, my journey with COVID was a bit of a weird one. When COVID hit Europe in March 2020, I was just back from maternity leave after being out of the business for about 10 months. This is actually a ping that I sent my manager a day before I started. And I just said that this is my first pandemic, so I wasn't sure what to expect. I haven't set foot in the office since May 2019, and I've never met my team or my manager in person. Now, during my onboarding, I was overwhelmed with video conference calls, with Zoom events, with pings and posts, and you name it. And I couldn't help but thinking that we're trying to recreate the office life online. Now, Matt Mullenweg, who is the founding developer of WordPress and the founder of Automattic, the company behind WordPress, has an interesting view on this topic, as all of Automattic's employees, all 1,200 of them, are working remotely and have always been working remotely. He describes 5 phases of working remotely where companies can advance in the way they see and react to remote work. Now, at a high level, just describing the levels, level number 1 is about companies not taking a significant action to work remotely. So if you have to, you can connect through your phone or your laptop, but you'll probably prefer to go into the office to do whatever it is that you have to do. Now, most companies were at that stage pre-COVID. Level 2 is trying to recreate the office online. So explaining the amount of meetings we have, Zoom events, happy hours, and more screen time. And a lot of companies are at that stage right now. Level 3 is about adapting to the medium. So taking advantage of the tools and working on alignment through them. Now, written skills and clear messaging are a crucial part at this stage. Level 4 is asynchronous communication. This is where people are rewarded for their work that they're doing without strict guidelines on how and when they do it. And level number 5 is nirvana, where an online organization is working better than an in-person one. Now, I don't want to dwell on all of these stages or talk too much about them, but I do like to focus on level 3. And the reason why I'd like to focus on level 3 is because on top of the context and the knowledge function that product marketeers serve in a company, clear communication and messaging are their fundamental strengths. Now, in my role, my main stakeholders are sales leadership and sales teams. So my learnings are based on the work that I do with them. But I'd like to discuss on how we can adapt to these changes as PMMs through my learnings working with these teams. And I'd like to segment this to the work on what we say, why we say it, and how we say it. All right, let's talk about what we say. And this is all about the values that we convey through the words that we're saying. And I think it's really important to lead with empathy. And that's the first thing I change, I think, in my day-to-day work as a product marketeers. It's been a tough year. It's been a tough year for everyone, and we need to acknowledge that. Calling it out that this is not normal, not starting a meeting as is as we always done, because things are happening. We need to acknowledge that. Also, it's important to acknowledge the fact that the new normal is changing a lot of things. And we need to consider that when we are planning, when we build go-to-market plans or setting our goals. For businesses, this means different sales cycles, different spend trends, different decision-making. Their needs and considerations have changed. And for people, their physical and mental health is compromised or threatened, and their own needs and considerations have changed. Taking that into account is really important when planning for different teams, different messaging, different product launches. Now, another thing that I've changed in what we say is how we can harness the new normal into telling a stronger and more authentic story of our solutions or products. And I'll give you an example through one of our products, which is Instagram Shops. Now, Instagram Shops are essentially your digital storefront. However, when COVID hit and a lot of businesses struggled with not being online, a part of the shop story was helping businesses re-emerge from the COVID crisis and giving them the tools to create that online store. Why we say it? Why we say it, I see as tying back goals and motivations. Some questions that I've had when thinking about this are, how do you cut through the noise when there's so much of it? And how do you tell a multi-product story in the midst of a pandemic? And the answer that I found for these questions are prioritization and bundling. Now, prioritization is always an important part of our job, but it becomes even more important than ever before with this new world. So we need to be very, very clear about what we're focusing on. I do it as a predefined theme or goal that I set out every half. I tie back smaller tasks to these goals. And I'm also very aware that I might need to change or adjust some of this because of this new normal. I try to cut out things that are out of scope, and I connect with my stakeholders' goals and motivations. Is it product adoption? Is it revenue? I try to have my focus on these things that would be more relevant for my main stakeholders. We like to say at Facebook, it's not prioritization unless it hurts. And I really feel that, especially in the last few months, we need to be very clear about what we're focusing on, but also what we're not going to focus on. Now, the way I see this from a tactical perspective is having a plan on a page where I tie my mission and vision of the company or the team I work in to my daily or monthly activities. And I share that plan on a page with my stakeholders and my cross-functional partners. This is an example of a plan on a page. This is, of course, it's just a mock, but having that vision, mission, strategy, product pillars, and focus areas helps you tie back the things that you're doing on a daily basis to the mission and vision. So let's say the overarching themes that you have, but also helps other people that you're working on and you're working with to clearly understand why is it important, the things that you're trying to communicate, and also how do they tie back to a bigger goal. How we say it. This is more around tools and tactics. Now, again, as I said, I worked a lot with sales leadership and sales teams, so this is more relevant to internal communication, but I can see some of this as being very relevant for external. Meetings. Meetings are a great way for us to connect. However, we need to be very strict on how we manage those. When it comes to pre-reads and notes and note-taking, it's really important to align people when you do get together. Having clear agenda and ending the meeting with action points and next steps is really important as well. I also try to schedule the meeting as at 25 minutes instead of 30 to be a bit more stressed with time. And that way we could also be very cautious if we go off topic. Also important to note that maybe meetings are a great way to get together, but we shouldn't use meetings for updates alone. We need to use the meetings as a way to progress. So brainstorm or decide on next steps. Written communications. I think this is the first thing that I've changed since the pandemic, is being very cautious of how I compose an email and what I write in it. And I always start with a TLDR. That helps people just understand very quickly if they screen read, which a lot of us do. They help us understand what is needed, what is the action and why is important. So I have a clear ask and I always have a timeline around that ask and I highlight those. I also have a template for my written communication, covering the what, the who, the why, and when. And also these are tied back to my plan on a page. So that helps me just focus on what's important and my prioritization process. Feedback. It's really hard to pause everything and give feedback or ask for feedback. And I think that in this day and age or this working environment, we have to proactively look for that. Now, Adam Grant, who's an organizational psychologist, calls it blind spot, asking for blind spots in comparison to asking for feedback. That helps people adjust or be more inclined to answer that question, asking what are my blind spots? So I think it's really important, especially now when it's very hard to just pause and give feedback on whatever is happening. Video. Now, using video, like a short form video to explain a complex update is something that I did a lot, especially when this first happened and we had a lot of different or complex product updates that we need to deliver to the sales teams. So using that format really helped me convey that message. Also, I try to record meetings if possible, and if not, we have notes in place. So other people that haven't attended or couldn't catch that meeting are always aligned on what we discussed and can join in on the conversation. And last but not least, trainings. So with the training format, it's really easy to do the talking head over a slide, and we did a lot of those. But considering the screen time that we have and that fatigue that we have from sales leadership and sales teams, I think it's important to try to adjust a bit. And I found that panel type discussions where questions are asked and answered by expert is really helpful to convey that message. So try that just to break the routine of a talking head on a slide. So to wrap up, we talked about the new normal not being normal at all. We talked about how we are uniquely positioned as PMMs to adjust and drive growth in these difficult circumstances. Leading with empathy is something that I hope you take with you from this talk. And also dance, you find answer. Thank you so much for joining me, and let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to discuss. Thanks for the Product Marketing Alliance for having me, and I hope you all stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.